Good morning, good morning, good morning. Blessings to all those that woke up that's not sick, still alive. Our prayers go out to the families, going through the suffering through this COVID. And I'm going to try to share something positive directly out the sword and real and truthful with you every day. I'm not saying that, I'm the best word for word, but I'm confident enough in Yeshua blessing me to share it with my brothers and sisters daily. And think I'm gonna be doing a lot more of it too, because somebody got to step up when it comes to helping open the eyes up of everybody, but mainly our own people, because we the only ones on this planet lacking. I'm not being against no one, which we are anyhow. When it comes to religion and ministries and doctrines, you got a lot of false ones. And Christianity, all over, Muslims. But today, I'm going to show you and expose the false Islam religion from where it stemmed from. You got to understand, in the Quran, they use the Old Testament for most of their answers of how they is a religion of Yahweh and Yeshua, and that how Muhammad is the last prophet and such, and then, we brothers that study, we know that's not true, and we don't like to, disrespect Minister Farrakhan and Malcolm X and them type of brothers, Elijah Muhammad and them, because we know that they did a lot of good things for the community too under that doctrine. But the reality is that it's a false doctrine. They know it. Every imam know it. It ain't like I'm telling you something that's far-fetching, made up. But the thing that get me though, how do you pump something that you know false so strong? I mean, this false, man, because they go to school to be theologians, man, and they got up was false and was real. You know what I mean? And whatever you take to is what you take to, is your liking or whatever, I guess, how they do it, and if anybody got a discrepancy or they disagree with what I'm about to share with the people, you're free to say whatever you want, call me, whatever, do whatever you want to do. And I guarantee you, this how confident I am, you ain't gonna get around this. Nah. And it's gonna be so simple till anybody gonna be able to repeat it back to you, and you not getting around this. This is all written and ordained. The same thing that's written in the Old Testament and the Torah is written in your Quran, because that's what your Quran is built off. Your first books is the Torah, the Pentateuch. Yeah, the Old Testament. That's what they start out with. Then they spread out to, they think. But me, I'm going to share with the brothers and the sisters, whoever, want to know, or feel like they need to know or something like that. I'm going to share with them, no question about it. So I'm going to get into it with no hesitation. I'm in Genesis 16, and we dealing with Abraham, the father, where they say they come from. They say they the descendants of Ishmael. Ishmael was the chosen child. They over everybody else because of Ishmael, and this is where their religion come from. This is where the Arabian nation come from, Arab nation. This is how they see that they is Arab. They not Hebrew. They not They not black. They not from the land of Israel. They don't have no type of Jew in them. No Hebrew in them. This is what they claim, that they is an Arabian nation from Ishmael, which is totally impossible. That's the number one falsifying as the Islamic religion of the Muslims. That's the first lie. They is not from Ishmael at all. Ishmael is not an Arab. There's no way he could possibly be an Arab. Even if he said it himself, it still turned out to be false. Now let me continue and share this beautiful, powerful information with everyone. And I say this. Now, in Genesis 16, Abraham was given a wife. And I'm going to read it to you. And this is going to start your answers. It say, Genesis 16, verse 1, Hagar given to Abram. Now Sarah, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarah said unto Abram, Behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abraham hearkened to the voice of Sarah. So when his wife, Sarah, told him, going to the Egyptian handmaid. You hear that? Egyptian now, stay with me. Now we're dealing with genes here. We're dealing with races here off the rip. The mother Egyptian. That's first. You see that? Egyptian woman Hagar. That is Ishmael's mother. Now, I'm going to continue. Now, it's saying in Genesis 16:15, and Hagar bare Abram a son, and Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare Ishmael. And Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram. Now, she had a son from Abram. Now, his name not even Abraham yet. His name is Abram because he's still a Chaldean. He's from the land of Chaldean. He's a Chaldean. He haven't even become Abraham yet. Yeshua knew he was Abraham, but the people in the flesh know you as, whatever, until you get a nickname or a different name, however you do it. So, now, this is his mother. She's an Egyptian. The father, Chaldean. So if you got a child that's black and Italian, black and Mexican, it's a mixed breed child. So you would say to the child, father, you say to the child, you such and such, yeah, I know your father, he from over there, his name, Abram, right, yeah, I know his cousins, them all the Chaldeans, his grandfather and them, boom, so that make you have Chaldean right there. Now, old lady say, hey, how you doing, Ishmael? How your mother doing? I know her sister cousins, they from down from the land of Egypt, black people, Chaldean black people. So they like, yeah, we know that you half and half. You have Chaldean, you half Egyptian. Now, everybody know this. If your child is half white, half Spanish, your ethnicity don't change because the child say, well, today I'm the purple man. This is what he's saying. The son. Now, so you just disown your whole gene lineage. If you change anything about you saying that you different from your father and your mother and them, all right, you just change your whole family tree. You want adoption, you want, whatever. And people make them kind of this, I don't want nothing to do with my family. Don't call me that. I'm over here with them. We eating woody woo and we gonna do my thing. Call me whatever. Okay, that's cool. That's your option. But it don't change the fact that your blood and your DNA is encoded in Egyptian and Chaldean. And true riches of an inheritance is the blood, not the accolades and the riches of the money and things like that. The reason you becoming the next king is because of your blood, not how much you generated. That's nothing. When we dealing with true riches of inheritance is the blood, the DNA, the melanin that's in you. So these Muslims say they come from Ishmael, and they tell you that they Arabs, we the Arab nation, and we follow Allah because of Ishmael and Esau prayed to these deities. You can pray to whatever you want. It still don't change his blood and who he is, so he can't be one of the fathers of the Arab nation. Because if he left mixed Chaldean and Egyptian and he married a woman from Japan, now when this lady have a baby by him, this Japanese, she got a threefold mix of DNA. But they don't walk away and say, well, we the Arab nation. This lady from Japan got a family and she got a inheritance and a bloodline that lead back to them. So still, the child could never say that he's an Arab. And we could continue all the way down the bloodline. And if you do call him an Arab, you automatically separate yourself from the inheritance of Yahweh through Abraham and Yeshua. You see it now? Once he separated himself from the blood of Abraham, there's no promises to you. No, the promises is to the Father. So once you separated, what you got there? Nothing. You start saying you another nation, disowning your father and your mother. You being rebellious, this was exactly what you are, destructive in your own mind and in your own self because you denying who you are. But this is what the Muslims say they come from, and that they was the chosen ones to carry on the Hebrew nation and word from Yeshua to the rest of the world. And it is a growing fast religion because that's what it is, a false religion. Because if people took the time to study, it wouldn't move that fast. See, some things be fast and intriguing and people really don't know what they getting caught up in. And some people, once they caught up in something and it's comfortable and good to them, they don't want to change that. That's what's going on. And every E-man know that. I just did it from the genes, from the root, and we going to continue on. Now let's say, God promised, we're going to go on to Genesis 17, verse 16. God promised of a son, and I will bless her and give thee a son. Also of her I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. And it say, then Abraham fell on his face and laughed and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old, and shall Sarah that is 90 years bear? So the promised child is from God. The child from Hagar, Sarah, the one that made that happen, she said, listen, man, Sarah over there, I ain't producing. Produce you a son or something, man, so you can have an inheritance. This is the reason. This is how much she loved him. She wanted him to have son to continue on. He said, okay, boom, he had a baby with the Egyptian women. You know what I mean? So now, it's a covenant being made with God and Abraham. And I'm going to read that to you. It was a little long. I ain't want to do that, but, to clear up a lot of things, I'm going to read it for you. But you see that the promise, you got one promise from God of a son, and you got one from the woman telling the man to go into the maid servant and have a child. Two different things happening here. The flesh made a decision. He answered that decision by having Ishmael. There's nothing wrong with that. Bless them too. Then you got a promise from God that's different than what's going on with the flesh and this woman here. When God promised you something, that's from on high. That's from Yahweh. Nobody could do nothing about that. This ain't on no set time and day or nothing. It's on God's plan. Period. But I'm going to show you something else about Ishmael that's going to really wake you up about how this false movement and these people is out here been playing games with our people for years. And guess what? Every theologian know it. Nobody want to get in no debates because people want peace. They want to go home to their grandchildren. They want to feed their kids. We know that. And they don't want to, really ruffle nothing. And they got a good situation going on. They feeding the flock. So why would I ruin this and, let it out the bag? But, I'm here to share the truth with you and let you decide. I'm just a vessel providing the information. You can agree or disagree. The comments is there, whatever you want. Call me however you like it. And, I'm going to stand on it because I know I'm right. Now I'm going to show you something else. God renews his covenant. And when Abraham was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God, walk before me and be thou perfect, and I will make my covenant between me and thee, and I will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abraham fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Now, this is where things changing for Abraham. I'm going to continue on. From Abram to Abraham is his name, and this is about to tell you why. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be called Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee, and I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and you, and thy seed, and their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto them, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession. I will be their God. And God said unto Abram, thou shalt keep my covenant, be therefore thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. This is my covenant which you shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised, and you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. He that is born in a house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not thy seed, he that is born in thy house, and he that is brought with money must needs be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man child whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He had broken the covenant. So the covenant was between God and Abraham and his generations. The sign to them for the rest of the nations he needed to sign too. He told them to sign, circumcise them. Boom. Doing away of the flesh, and you listening to on high. You ain't letting the flesh make a decision for you. That's what it's symbolizing. But now we go to 17:23, and it say, Abraham household circumcised. Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were brought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the same day as God had said unto him. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin, and Ishmael's son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And the same day was Abraham circumcised in Ishmael, his son, and all the men of his house, born in the house, and brought with money of the stranger, were circumcised with him. So, Ishmael 13, Abraham get the new name. He get the covenant. He's not Abram, he Abraham. He got the promise of many nations, kings and queens. And who the first one to get circumcised? Ishmael. So that make Ishmael automatically 100% with Hagar, Abraham, with Yahweh and Yeshua in the covenant. He got the seal. So him being the father of an Arab nation is nowhere in your Quran. Based out the Old Testament, that's going to stand up on that lie. In your own Quran, this is exactly what it reads, the same. So how you come up with this and say, oh yes, yeah, he did become a great man, very powerful, rich man. No question about it, because that's the promises of Yeshua. But he wasn't the promised child because he come from Hagar, and that was the woman that did that. Now, when Sarah promised a son, Abraham promised a son, here come Jacob and Esau. Bang. So, just by genes alone, they can't use Ishmael. It's written in their own book. If you following the teachings and the God of Ishmael, that's Yahweh and Yeshua. If you want to go genetic, he was born from a Chaldean father and an Egyptian mother. The father got the covenant, circumcised them both, made them both Hebrew. Spiritually, symbolically, they is Hebrew men now. So, if this son go around a corner and say, well, we ain't over there, me and my mother left, but my father, he doing him. Hold up, man. If you having a problem where these two brothers is having an issue and they warring these two brothers, they not friends, and they saying it's due to religious reasons that they don't come to no understanding, and these supposed to be religious men, imams, pastors, bishops, all these type of things. We can't come to an agreement, and you faking, I'm faking, you ain't right, and you know what's going on out here in the world. shouldn't be none of that. Shouldn't be out here where we fighting over, two religious movements, having disagreements about who right, who fake, who real. But I know this. When you deal it from the sword, they got the Old Testament and the Quran. And this is what it reads. So if you's a theologian, a well-studied man, you will see the flaw in the religion. Clearly, it's there in the beginning before you go any further. It show you the flaws. Can't no Iman dispute it. No, not even Farrakhan. Farrakhan know this all as well. Not nothing personal, nothing against you. So you do good for what you do. But this is the reality. And this is the hard truth. These men and women been running around here being misled. See, you think that because people around the Muslim movement that they know these things. No, they don't. They being puppetized, man. Yeah, Christianity, Muslims, they ain't in their word. Because if they was in their word, this right here stand out to anybody. I'm a Christian, real man of faith. This right here stood out to me tremendously. And this is not, I'm not a Muslim. You know what I mean? But this stood out because you always got Muslims that want to say, oh, Christianity ain't right. That's the first thing they do. Jump out at it. A Muslim tell you quick. But you never studied yourself. Because if you did, that's how you know that he hasn't studied himself. Because the reason you know that, if he was studying for himself and was thinking for himself, he wouldn't even be talking like that. Because that means that he's a very sharp brother. But he's not. Obviously, he's being puppetized. Even if it's the E-man coming, he say, oh, man, brother, man, why you over there with them Christians? That's what they say. But you don't see no Christians say, yo, why you over there with them Muslims? Why you over there with them Buddhists? Why you over there with these people that's, doing all these crazy things? You don't see too much of that. You see a Christian trying to pray for you, trying to help you, trying to pass the plate around on you. All these things happen. You feel me? Old girl in the service, she done fell out on the floor, dress done fell out. She done fell out in front of the guy that, whatever they got going on. That's how these things work in these places. But brothers, be on alert. Start thinking on a higher ground. Start thinking new political party. Stop running up there, diving and getting down with everything without you studying for yourself. Because you got to remember, whatever you learn from somebody else and you feed it to your children and your grandchildren, and it ain't right and exact, it came from you. Especially when you're dealing with faith. Because like I said before, every Hebrew child is gifted. Yes, everyone. So you got to remember, Yeshua went down in Egypt. They cut it short, but you know why he down there studying. When he came up from Egypt, he went to doing what he do. And that's why I mentioned that to you. The riches is not in the gold and silver in them temples. No, it's not in the artifacts. It's what's on the wall, the hieroglyphics. And like I said, men and women across the globe that never even been in there, if you stare at it long enough and walk through there, and you touch it, you feel it, you smell it, before you know it, you'll read it. Because it's melanin DNA encoded in you. Know what I mean? These are the things they try to keep you away from so that they can stay in power. No matter if it's religion, political, whatever the social agenda is for people to try to manipulate and move the masses, this is what they doing. Right now we dealing with COVID. People dying. We don't know who's going to be here tomorrow. But I know this much. For the time I'm here, I'm going to share a little bit of truth. Know what I mean? Because Yeshua been so good to me, I got to do it. Just out of me just being respectful. I know how this thing go. Know what I mean? We caught in the mix right now, and our hearts go out to everybody that's dealing with it. So, take the time out and share something positive every day. Do something positive. I'm not saying that, change in 5 minutes. It don't work like that. I can't do that. I can't change in 5 years. But what I'm saying is, do something to a stranger, old lady, whoever. Don't always be around waiting for the negativity to jump off. And don't stand there like you're afraid to speak the truth. Know what I mean? And I'm going to leave it with that. And like I said, then they go into another, they come from Esau. Because Esau did marry one of Ishmael's daughters. Yeah, it's in there. He married one of them. He went the Muslim route. Yeah, he did. But guess what? Ishmael was smart enough to do this. He made sure that his nephew was right in that bloodline. Him and his father made sure that. Because they knew this. You could go run around and say whatever you want. But the true inheritance is in the blood. So when you kids get to come running around the corner and I'm divorcing my parents and you somebody new, and they already take care of all that. So, let's stand on love and truth, man, and let's all stay aware, man, as wolf in sheep's clothing, all that. And the difference between me, I tell you, I'm from the sidewalk, from a curve like you. But I do got a heart and love the Lord. You understand? So I'm not going to never sit up here and tell you that my flesh is so strong to that I can't do it. Man, listen, man. I'm living just like you, caught up in COVID. Pray for you. Love you. Yeshua is the glory. Hebrew nation is the only chosen and true nation that Yeshua chosen. Now, we can spread the information and the love and the word of Yeshua to the world. And that's our duty. But like I said, and like Yeshua said, we need new African political party. It's nothing racist in that. It's called being responsible and taking care of your own. So all you people, you have a very blessed Resurrection Day. Today is Easter Sunday. You have a very, very, very blessed Resurrection Day with your family on this day. In Yeshua's mighty precious name, we say amen.